All the proceeds from ISPCS, as well as the silent auction, go to support the Student Launch Program. And we launch, as I mentioned, Annual Access to Space provides those students who are building experiments the opportunity to launch before the end of the academic semester. So the next launch will be we have one in March, and we're going to do one in the summer and possibly one in the fall at ISPCS next year, I hope.
Oh, wow.
That'd be so cool. I hope we can pull it off. So what we are doing is entering into a Space Act agreement with Flight Opportunities Office. So we are going to be sharing some payload space, and so we are going to be looking at different procurement models. And you know, you saw one of my students designing an experiment for the Maston vehicle, and that experiment in another configuration has flown on the 0G. I want the students to have multiple platforms open to them. I'll buy a flight on X-Corps vehicle, Armadillo, whatever the students want. As long as they demonstrate to me that and those kids won a student competition, and they won that ride on Maston. But Maston's not ready yet. My kids are going to graduate, and they're going to fly their experiments. So that's all right. Maston's not going anywhere. We'll get another group to compete, and maybe they'll win. In the meantime, they have to fly. So now we've put the program in place from 6th grade all the way through to commercial, all the way up through graduate school. I have a lot of PhD programs, projects I've funded and now fly. And the reason is there's a 10,000 hour rule. And in the 6th grade, I want the teachers and the students to become familiar. And if you read Rocket Boys by Homer Hickam, what you can understand is the physics teacher helped the students become familiar with the space environment, caught fire with Homer Hickam regarding, I want to design a nozzle. You know, and I do some programs where I let the students have some sort of, you know, consistent fixed experiments. But when I was in high school, you know, you got your frog, forget it, that's nothing I'm interested in. Where's my creativity in this? It doesn't exist. So I want the students to design their own experiments, figure out how to build them. I want the teachers to ask questions from me and then ask the collaborators we have helping us so that they can learn how to answer their own questions. Not answer my questions, answer your own questions. They're going to create the demand for the consumer space industry we're working to create. So the 6th graders, the 10,000 hour rule is first you create familiarity, but in order to create mastery, you have to spend about 10,000 hours practicing. They're going to get to be masters by the time most patents are awarded to people in their 30s. If you're going to get to mastery, you have to be 20, and then you have to evolve something that's worth really becoming something extraordinary, like Bill Gates created and Steve Jobs. They spent literally, you know, 18 hours a day working on programming and working on developing some of the ideas they had. So we have to gain that mastery. So that's why I'm starting with 6th grade. By the time they're in high school, some of them will be really good in the next 10 years. We got to have enough programs in the universities, not just in New Mexico, around the country. And we have to have enough capability for them to have multiple platforms to investigate the questions they need answers to. Got to start somewhere.
Have any of your students' experiments already flown?
Oh, yeah, 67.
67, wow. That's impressive. Was that the rocket that you were talking about that
Yes.
you wanted to bring in last year?
Yeah. Yeah, we did bring it in last year, the Space Loft. And yes, 67 experiments are already flown, and some commercial payloads as well. And you know, we have the Send Your Stuff to Space program, and that's all those proceeds go to students. I had extra space on the rocket, and so I flew some pins, Harley-Davidson pins and ashes and wedding rings and stuff like that. Sold $4,500 worth of space, and all that goes to the students. So just have to keep working it, building it. I can't be embarrassed about flying ashes on a rocket. Guy pays me $700, what the hell? I'm gonna take it.